Hello everyone, and welcome to the final chapter of my Call of the Armor 0% Growths low turn count playthrough. The final chapter is definitely a memorable one for anyone who's played this hack. It is a kill boss map, like most final chapters are, and the final boss Toki is very memorable for how difficult he is to even reach. He begins the map incredibly far away on his throne in the far north, locked away in the throne room by doors that neither lockpick nor door key can seem to open. In order to unlock his throne room, you need to kill the mini-bosses in the top left and top right corners. And even if you decided against doing that, and you just wanted to warp someone into the throne room, like I am very tempted to do, the final boss has another reason to not do that, and that's because he is sitting on a throne and has an Omni boost of plus 20 to all of his stats. So, even if you manage to reach him while he is locked away, you will probably miss and probably die on the counterattack. So, the game really wants you to kill the two mini-bosses before you can unlock the path to the final boss. He'll step off his throne, move closer to you, and lose his plus 20 to everything Omni boost. But you've seen my team, right? I don't have the firepower to kill 3 bosses, so I'm just gonna kill one. And you see I brought all of my staffers to help me out here. I really needed every last one, including Venus, who was not a relevant staffer until Chapter 18 gave her the B rank staves she needs here for rescue. My 3 boss killers are going to be the 3 dark magic users, as you might have figured out by the lunar cleave I spent so much of last map hyping up. And we're going to need every last staffer to get them in position to be warped in. First by Francis, and also by Vivek, who just hit warp rank in the last map. The throne room is quite large, and I need a lot of warp rank to even reach it, but I didn't need to spend any boots on anyone except for my 3 dark magic users and my dancer, who allows Francis to warp Experus into position. And you see, right here is the only generic in my way from this boss kill, and that is the wyvern there. I need Vivek to stand where that wyvern is to warp Aldrich to where he needs to be. And so once again, I've enlisted the help of the best unit in the game, Liam, to kill one of the 2 enemies that are gonna die in this map. One important thing that I mentioned in the last map is, of course, Lunar Cleave. It has 120 hit and cannot be retaliated against, so even though the boss has plus 20 to everything and is sitting on a throne, Luan still has a slick 26 hit on this guy. And that's going to chop his health in half from 120 all the way down to 60. And Aldrich is going to do the same thing to bring him down to 30. But I originally had a bit of a problem, as Retribution, Experus's tome, has 30 less hit than Lunar Cleave, meaning that at base, Experus actually has 0 hit on Toki in his super-powered form here. But thankfully, I have just enough slack in my clears to give Experus an A support with Aldrich and a B support with Luan, boosting his hit by 25, and giving him a crisp 17 hit on this boss, so I can finish the final map in 1 turn. And with that, our run is complete. Call of the Armor on 0% growths was cleared in 57 turns. I show off a bit of the final cutscene here, but as Kuijia says, it's finally over. I would like to thank you all for watching, and although I shouted them all out individually, I would again like to give thanks to USS Gordon Captain, Cold Jolteon, and especially Toffee and Subway Boss Emmett. Toffee, I've already mentioned, has done his own run of this game in 100% growths. I think it's a very cool watch, and I'll be linking it in the description. And a lot of his clears gave inspiration to me for shaving off a couple turns here and there. And Subway Boss Emmett was with me from the very start, the very early planning stages, and helped me with too many clears to really keep track of. Even the final boss kill, he helped me knock out a couple of the details there, so a huge shoutouts to him. And that's it. This credit sequence is quite long, so I don't know how long I'll be able to hold your attention, but in the meantime, although I didn't do a formal Q&A, I am going to go ahead and respond to a couple inquiries that people have had for me over the course of my run. And the first of which is, why do 0%? Hacks are very rarely played on 0%, and the only person who, well, the main person who does, like, a lot of ROM hack LTCs, Toffee, he does 100%, so why take that risk? But, you know, once I saw the secret shop in Chapter 10 that sold Warp and Rescue, and I saw a lot of really good staff users like Vivek and Francis, who kind of act the same with and without growths, I was intrigued as to how this game would play without growths. It's also just my preferred category of LTCs. I was originally inspired by Don151, and to me, I find it to be more interesting. It's largely, I think, more reflective of the average playthrough than 100%. Although Toffee's run is very entertaining, if you pick up this game, your Noki is not going to look like his, I guarantee you that. And it led to a lot of creative solutions for me for boss killing. I think one of the iconic parts of this run is just how wide the cast of boss killers was. Of course, you have the low-tier legends of Chapter 12, and since then it's kind of been a thing with my run where I'll just grab the nearest foot unit that I think is good, and they're just going to be my boss killer for a chapter. You know, units like Soma and Kamuth, you don't really need to think about it in 100%, but in 0% you have this need to expand to the wider cast that I think is really entertaining. And I thought I could still get a very impressive turn count because of just how good so many of these staffers are. And I'm quite proud of this run, so I hope you'll agree. The other question that I get a lot is, why did you pick Call of the Armor? It's not I mean, it's not an unpopular hack, but it's not one of the most popular. Something like Vision Quest or Four Kings is definitely more well-known among ROM hack players, and what can I say? I really like the telephone hack format. I played this game for the first time quite a few years ago, but it's just so fun to me. I was originally replaying this game along with one of my friends, and when I got to chapter 18, I remembered that map being a real big pain, and a lot of the people in my Discord server, the Discord server I was in, were warning me that that chapter was gonna crush me. But I too turned chapter 18, kind of going at it blind, and that was so fun to me, how I could, if you don't give these scary chapters any breathing room, they cease to become so scary. And I thought that applied to a lot of maps in this game, and that's kind of what inspired me to try out an LTC. There's also the fact that as a telephone hack, I alluded to this in my introductory video, but Call of the Armor gives you a lot of broken tools that the player can use, like bolting and warp, really early on, that a lot of hacks that have a single creator are often scared to do. And I just thought that was super fun, and just having such a staff-centric LTC reminds me a lot of Arcanea, and I think it's a very fun way to approach a game. I really like when games give the player broken tools. It's very fun to me. But yeah, that's why I really like this game, and I thought it would make an interesting LTC. And so the question follows, what other games do you have in mind? And right now, there's nothing really on the table. I mean, this game has opened my eyes to how fun telephone hacks can be, both as normal games and as LTC games, and I'm definitely exploring some other telephone hacks to kind of see what my options are. And you know, if you subscribe, you'll be the first to know if I decide to pick another one up. But yeah, this project has taken quite a while. The first video was uploaded in January. This is now April, and planning has gone on for a lot longer than that, so it's definitely a project you gotta set your mind to, even for a relatively short hack like Call of the Armor, only 20 chapters. But, you know, if I get bitten by the LTC bug again, telephone hacks are probably where I'm gonna be. But this little credit sequence is nowhere close to done, and that's about all the questions that I have. So I hope you enjoyed this run, and for ways to improve it, aside from the obvious turn save in Chapter 1, I think this run is very tight. I lose a total of 5 turns compared to a 100% run, including the Chapter 1. And that gap is just so small that I really think this run is super optimized. I'm incredibly happy with it. Yeah. thank you for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and call it, but if you want to look at the rest of these character cards, feel free. I'm quite fond of them, and I'll probably replay this game again sometime soon. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.